All right. I think we can get started. So let's kick it off. So welcome everyone to our Lunch and Learn with the theme being New Year, New Features. And it's new. So let's get started. So bear with me. A little about us, your presenters. My name is Vincent Finaldi. Some of you know me personally, some of you don't. Over here at TeleCloud, I am in mostly managing client relationships and working with new clients. And that's my family right there. That's Leo, my 3-year-old, and Marco, our 1-year-old, and my wife, Lisa. So why don't you introduce yourself, Damon, for those who may not know you?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Damon. I'm president of TeleCloud. There's my beautiful family that occupies my other full-time job after being here with you guys. We're having a fun winter. Looking forward, though, to the warm weather coming. Thanks.
And Dan?
My name is Daniel. That's my wife, Madison. I work as the sales solution engineer, just trying to get things to work.
Thank you. And before Damon does a review preview, I actually wanted to launch a poll to get some of our clients engaged. So let me give this a go. I'm going to launch it. It's a really simple question. It's where are you working? In the office, remote, or hybrid? And if you wouldn't mind, we'll take just 30 seconds to get some answers. We think it could be interesting. All right, we're at 35 out of 40. All right, that's a really good stat. So I'll share this with you, Damon, and the team. So about 60% of the clients are in the office full-time, 20% are remote full-time, and about 20% are hybrid, which is both in the office and remote. And about 8% would rather be in Costa Rica and not working at all. And I might be in that 8% too. So Dame, why don't you take it from here? And I'm going to share the results out with the team. And I'll minimize this. And Dame, you could take it away.
Okay. Thanks, Vince. Well, as we've looked back to the last year, I think many of our clients, depending on what industry you are, have established policies on how they have to operate. But the answer is it really depends. We have some knowledge workers that absolutely offer flexibility. That happened obviously during the restrictions that happened with COVID and just trying to keep everyone safe. We have other businesses like our medical facilities, car dealerships, and even the home services businesses that have to be in an office to run their operations. So what we've seen across the board is it depends. Now, as far as the way we're communicating, that's absolutely evolved from 2 years ago. We're seeing a need for more flexibility than ever before. Our clients are using now laptops in lieu of desktops. They're talking on Microsoft Teams. They're talking on Zoom. They're talking on our software. And that could be in a Chrome browser, on an iPhone, with a camera or without a camera. So the landscape has certainly changed. And I think what we're all finding is there really is no one solution, because you may get an invite from one of your vendors or customers using WebEx, and meanwhile, your company uses Microsoft Teams. So what we're finding is we need to be flexible. It tends to be an ongoing evolution as we're working into our new norm. And the last piece of all of this is keeping our talent within our companies. One of the things we're finding is that flexibility is a recruiting tool right now. Some of the businesses out of Manhattan, like JP Morgan Chase, are requiring their teams to go into the office 3 days a week. And some people are saying, hey, I don't want to do that. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. So I don't think there's a right answer for any of this, other than being flexible, having the toolkit that allows us to work mobily or flexibly, and then continuing to see how this evolves, looking out to 2022. So I can personally say I'm looking forward to the warm weather. That has nothing to do with work from home. I've said it twice, but I voted for the Costa Rica beach. Thanks.
Thanks, Dame. So getting into the meat of the presentation, first off, let me start by saying all of those on this webinar is an existing client. So you have access to all this we're going to show you. The question is it turned on or off? But all of you right now have the ability to do this. So I'm just going to cover broad strokes with you, the 5 or 6 things we want to cover. high level, and Dan will show you the specifics. So when I stop sharing my screen, I'll do my best to monitor the chat and the Q&A, but at the end, we're going to leave time for questions because ultimately we're doing this for you, our customers. So we want to give you as much value as possible. So during or after, we will leave time to get to any specific questions you might have specific to your business. So here are high level the 6 topics we wanted to cover. So first is the ability to add automatic phone call recording. And for those who get the reference, that's what he said, she said. I've been planning that little joke out for a while. So Dan's going to show you the ability to record calls for your business automatically. The second, and this is text messaging, and this is very, very popular, and more clients are requesting the ability to text message with their customers. Just from a macro perspective, 99% of text messages are opened, and about 45% get a response. So if you're in the client services business, the service business, the sales business, like most of us, texting is a really clever way to get your clients to respond to you. Next is enhanced voicemail, which Dan will show you within each individual voicemail. Think of it as like voicemail on steroids. There's a few really interesting features you can add within your voicemail. For example, voicemail to text transcription, text alerts, and also shared voicemail, which Dan's going to shed light on in the actual demo. The next feature is voicemail escalation. This is the ability if a customer leaves you a voicemail, it can notify a manager. So we have this built into our system where you can escalate a voicemail that's not checked. And just a little tip here, clients will wait on hold for 60 to 90 seconds, like, in a hold queue or on hold. But ultimately after that, they're just going to leave a voicemail and get a call back as soon as possible. So we'll dive into that. And next, as far as new features, is our Webphone. It's really updated from a software perspective, and it's very reliable, we found. So we're getting really positive feedback from customers that are using the Webphone on its reliability and use case. And we'll dive into that. And then the last part, which can help some of you, is the ability to integrate TeleCloud with your existing CRM. Some of the popular ones are Teams and Salesforce, but ultimately we can touch base on this. And if this will help you be more efficient with your existing CRM, we're happy to help you on a one-to-one basis because every customer has specific needs there. So with that being said, I'm going to kick it over to Dan to share out his screen. And Dan, why don't you show the customers? We'll start very simply. Just log into the portal and we'll show the call history with recordings and some of the use case there.
Yep. So as Vince said, if you have an account on our system, you have access to the portal. Everyone's access is pretty similar. It's your extension number at your company name. And the website is user.telecloud.co. And then once I log in, depending on what kind of access you have, you will see different things. So the first thing that Vince mentioned was the call recordings. So all of those, if we come over to call history, live actually right in here. So you can see that this is lit up. I can listen to or download any calls. Right now,
Hey Dan, for someone that's logging in, would they have access to everyone's calls or just their own?
Yep, I was actually just about to say that. So I set my access as an agent, so I can only see my own. If you're an office manager or a supervisor, office manager can see anybody's. Supervisor can see anyone's. If you have a call center set up, you can see any of your agents. So we can limit it by either you can just see your own, you can make it that only certain people can see certain groups, or you can see everybody's. Okay, and then we can see that here's the call, and then I can download it as well. Right. Any questions on the call?
I got a question from one of our clients. How long are the call recordings typically stored in the system?
Yes, by default, we have them set for 6 months. They'll be stored for.
Okay.
Dan, is there any length on how long a call can be recorded? If somebody was on an hour call, would the whole thing be recorded?
Yes, the entire call will be recorded if you have it turned on. It can be a couple hours, it can be a couple minutes, it doesn't matter.
If someone got a call and it was transferred from, let's say, it came into a main number at a receptionist and then got transferred to a group, would that capture the whole recording or just the part of the call that went to the user?
So if both users have call recording turned on, you'll have both legs of the call because it's transferred. It technically counts as a new call. So the user who transferred it will be able to see their portion, and then whoever they transferred it to, they'll be able to see their portion. If the receptionist has it turned on, but the user doesn't, then the call recording will stop after it gets transferred.
Okay, that's helpful. Thanks.
Mhm.
Thanks, Dan.
How far back can they go without, by default, if they want to go find stuff in the past?
6 months.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Dan, would you mind showing before we go to the next feature, just the filter section and how easy it is to search for a specific call?
Yep. So right over here, here's the filters. Again, depending on your scope, you can see different things. But from here, you can go as far back as you like. You may get like a little warning here. It's just because it wants the range to be within that 30 days. Once I have it there, it goes away. If I know the specific number that I'm looking for, I can put that in. Or if I'm looking for a number I called and I want to get that recording, I can put that in as well. Or I can set it by either just all inbound, outbound, or outbound. Miss the call recording won't be there.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay, so I sometimes get ourselves in trouble here because I love the future and what new is coming. So one of the things we've been developing is the ability to take the call recording and transcribe it using a Google. And what that allows you to do then is have some machine learning from Google that can do word analysis, so that if someone was to say something within the call recording, Google would be able to send an alert to a manager and then even do what's called a sentiment scoring. This is a new feature. It's not available yet. It's on top of the base call recording that we're showing you right now, but it's something we're looking to roll out later this year. That would be something that we're paying Google to do the transcription and service with. So there would be a paid for feature, but I'm excited about it because I find that the call recordings are invaluable to have, but when they're indexed and you can go read the transcription of them, it makes you find what you want to find even faster. So we're looking to develop this further. Enough about that. Thanks.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Dan.
Yep.
I would say, staying on track with time, Dan, why don't you show the next popular feature that we touched upon, which would be SMS texting, and then we could shed some light onto that.
Sure. SMS texting, there are a couple of different ways you can do it. You can do it right from the portal. If I come over to messages, you'll see here it says chat and SMS. And here I can see the different messages I have. It includes into our current chat feature, the SMS. Or if I come into contacts here, I can type this, I can press this little bubble here. It says start new conversation, and you can see down here it says send using, and there's my number. I can literally type in another number and start texting away.
Got it.
You can also do this from the web phone and the mobile app, all within the same option under the chat.
Dan, I'm just monitoring the chat. There's a couple questions from one of our clients. The one question is, to enable text messaging, does the employee need a direct dial line?
So texting, any line that you have in your business right now can be enabled, and it can be assigned to anybody. So you can turn it on for your main number and then give it to someone to monitor. So it doesn't have to be their direct line. If you have a couple of numbers that don't necessarily go straight to the user, that's fine. Like this number right here, that's our support line. That's not my line. And then you can see I have another one. That one is my line.
Understood. So the answer is, for each individual, it's most practical to have a direct dial line associated with the employee. However, you can also associate main numbers with said employee.
Yes,
Got it.
each number will
Okay.
be assigned to one user.
Understood. Got it. That's helpful. Dan, did you want to add anything to that, or I was going to just continue?
Not at this time.
Okay.
That looks good. We have seen when people have a group environment where there's one phone number, but it's multiple participants. There's another SMS platform that we've been allowing clients to use, because that'll allow a group of people, whether they're in medical answering, customer service, a sales team, to have multiple people with one recipient, where right now this is one-to-one. That would be a little bit of a different look and feel, but each scenario is a little bit different, and we could handle either appropriately depending on the use case. We did have one client, Montgomery IP, I think, that was using the SMS, and we were able to allow that through their CRM using an API. So there's even other capabilities we can use with our SMS enabled numbers, depending on how our clients need to work with them.
Got it. Thanks, Dan. So Dan, to keep this coming along, the third popular feature, if I remember, was enhanced voicemail. So this is what we found with our customers. So depending on what environment they came from, we look at enhanced voicemail as one of three things. The first is the ability to share voicemails. That is where another coworker or manager can have access to someone's voicemails. So like a good use case, if someone goes on vacation, you could share out your voicemail to, a coworker or a manager to back up that person. So one is shared voicemail, which Dan can show. Two is voicemail to text transcription. That's the ability for a voicemail to be transcribed to text. So you can actually read the message, through it from as in text. And then the third was text alert. So that's the ability if a voicemail is left to text message your phone as well. So Dan, I know I gave a kind of a few different flavors of what enhanced voicemail means to us. So why don't we start first with the shared voicemail so customers can grasp that?
Yep. So shared voicemail is actually under tools. So if I come here,
do all customers have the tool tools?
Yeah, this is enabled for everybody. Okay. And then the shared voicemails will be right over here. And then you can see here, I have two. There's my personal mailbox, which I have no voicemails in there currently. And then I have the general mailbox. So I can drop that down and I can see here are the messages. I can leave statuses so that way anyone else who has this general mailbox, if I say that it was called, when the next person comes, they'll see that I put that status in there. I can see the caller ID name, when it came, how long it is. If there's any transcription, like Vince said, so like here it is, it just says, thank you. This one gave in some more information. This one had nothing. I can also listen to the voicemail right from here. If I click over here, I can download it. I can also choose to either delete the message from here, or if I don't want to play it on my computer, I want to listen to it on my phone, I can click on that to do that. You can see here, this is green where this is black. So if I click on that, you'll see there's a note. Because I changed the status, it automatically puts that note in there. So that way anyone can go and see what they did. Or if you want to put in an additional note saying that I'm going to call this person back or anything, you can put that right in there. You can also forward this to somebody else. So if I forward this to someone, they'll have all the notes that I put in there. So that way, if anytime there was any status change or anything like that, they can see that. And I can also download the voicemail if I needed to.
Gotcha. And for any customers that would benefit from this, I would say at the end of the webinar, just wait, we could help you one-on-one from a programming perspective. We'll just have to create a ticket and help you if you don't want to program it yourself. So we're happy to provide that for you.
Yep. And then the last thing Vince mentioned was the text alerts. So every cell phone carrier has what's called an email to SMS gateway, where if you send an email out to the number, it'll send you a text. So you can actually use that and put that in your profile, which I can show an example right here. If you put it like that, like as long as you know what that gateway is, every time there's a voicemail left on your phone, it'll send you a text message to let you know that there's a voicemail. So just another way to alert you.
Thanks, Dan. And is there an easy way to show the voicemail to text transcription or?
Yep, it's actually right here.
Oh, I apologize. There you go. And that would also come into the email.
Yep, it comes through the email as well.
Thanks, Dan. So let me just take a look at some of the questions. Bear with me. There's a Q&A section. There's a chat section. So
I can answer. Wayne asked a question about this. Wayne asked, why is this under the tools section and not under messages?
Yes.
Because Wayne, this was something that we developed for our clients. So we elected to put it in the tools section because when we build out our own applications, we put them over here.
Very good. I have one customer, Damon, from Anthony Magnus. I just attempted to send a text from the portal to my cell and it failed. Does the text messaging feature need to be specifically enabled on each client's account?
Yes. It
Got
needs
it.
to be turned on per number.
Got it. So the question to you specifically, Anthony, we have to turn on SMS on your specific number, which we can handle after this webinar. Very good. So moving forward, we had automatic call recording, text messaging, enhanced voicemail. Oh, fourth was voicemail escalation. So to shed light on this, this is popular, we find in service businesses where a voicemail is actually critical to providing client services, or someone with an inside sales team and it's critical to get back to a customer. So Dan, can you shed light on why we built the voicemail escalation? And Dan, you can show it.
Well, sure. We had a company that provided IT support to a hospital system. So they had a use case where if there was an on-call or an off-hour support request, that they wanted the voicemail box to escalate up to multiple people within their business. So, having helped our clients with telecom for years, I would say this was more of a traditional phone system feature. Now that we have the ability to have our mobile devices, we tend to do alerts with email or text messaging off a voicemail box, but there's certain businesses like service trade or any, as Vince said, service company that still has to provide 24-hour voicemail support for their clients.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. So to get to that feature, that one is also under tools. It's called nag because it's going to bother the hell out of you until you answer that. So the way that one works is you set a mailbox that it's going to monitor. We set up an auto attendant that's just going to pretty much just tell them that there's a message left to log in, and then you set how frequently you want it to go. So for example, you'll see that my mailbox is set up, and in here you can put in, like, this is pretty much the escalation list. So in the first 5 minutes, if I don't answer that voicemail, it's going to send a text message utilizing the same SMS to email gateway. After 5 minutes, we're going to go to the next thing, which is just going to call me. And then you can add multiple levels. So like if I wanted to get text twice, I can do that. If I want to add additional people, I can do that. Once it reaches the final level and it's still not answered, every 5 minutes, it's going to call me until that message gets either saved or deleted.
Awesome.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks. I'm just keeping an eye on the chat and Q&A. We had a lot of questions come in. So yeah, it was all good stuff.
I'm seeing a lot of questions come in too. We're going to have to answer some of these after we're done with all the material.
Yeah. I love it. I'm trying to keep up.
All right, well, there was one more. We wanted to show off the Webphone, right? Absolutely.
So feature number 5 out of 6. So we're making progress. Was most of you know about the Webphone, but just in case you don't, Dan's going to show you that every user has access to this. So any existing user, you have this. It's the ability to use the Webphone, which is typically to bypass hardware. And it's most common working from home or traveling or remote offices.
Yep. So to access the Webphone, if I just come over here where it says apps, I drop that down, I click on TeleCloud Webphone. It's going to open up a new tab for me. And here we go. I'm logged in. There are a couple of changes that came with the Webphone. First is if you are a part of a call center, you can now see your call center stats and log in and out right from the Webphone. And you can also now set which microphone it uses right from the Webphone.
Thanks. And with regarding the call center, I'm going to announce it at the end, but we're going to do another webinar specifically for call center customers. We already have a date selected. So anyone who's utilizing TeleCloud Call Center, just stay on till the end and we'll schedule another time and get an invitation out within like a day or so.
Yep. And sorry, you also actually have access to the parks too. So if there was anyone on park, you can actually see that right from here and answer it.
Thanks, Dan. Very good. And the last one, this is more conversational because software integration, there's so many different softwares to integrate with. It's difficult to know which one for us to select because every customer might use a different version. So Dave, can you add to address the last slide, which I can share my screen again. would be software integration. You mind just touching upon it and what kind of things we're doing for clients?
Sure. So first I'll address Microsoft Teams, and then we'll talk about the rest. So Microsoft Teams, which obviously has become dominant in some of the larger size clients that we're dealing with because it's part of the Office 365 licenses. People want to make and receive calls using Teams. So we actually have a unique Teams connector that allows us to use TeleCloud as your calling engine, your auto attending, your call queues. But instead of using our software to make and receive calls, you'll actually use Microsoft Teams. So that's one example of how we're providing integration with these applications. Another would be simply, we have our client records. We keep them somewhere. So whether that is an EMR software for medical, or whether that's a CRM, like the ones we all know, could be Zendesk, HubSpot. It could be Microsoft Outlook. It could be Salesforce, which is probably one of the most well-known ones. Mm-hmm. What that allows us to do is when a call comes in, that can allow TeleCloud to look up that call record and actually provide speed of response. So you can identify who people are ahead of time by having a screen pop and then controlling those calls. Conversely, if you're reaching out to people, you want to click and dial out of those CRMs to speed up the transaction time, but then you want the ability to leave notes. So our TeleCloud CRM connectors allow us to do all of that, including adding contacts on the fly. So what Dan's going to show right now is a way you can take the TeleCloud system and have it work adjacent or better with your current CRM product.
Got it.
I think we have the ability to connect to, without even going custom, to hundreds of them. So this is something where we tend to be able to do these pretty easily.
Got it. Are you saying you wanted to show something on the fly? Did I misinterpret that?
No, I was going to pass the mic back to Dan.
Got it.
Yeah, so for this one, it's a little harder to show. The integrations that we have done, we've done with Salesforce and we've done with Zendesk. Microsoft Teams, that's actually my primary phone that I use now. I use it to make and receive all my calls, and it has the portal built into it. You can use the mobile app, which is great.
Thanks,
with the screen pops, like depending on how you want to set it, any call that comes in, it searches through like if the CRM is connected, it'll search through, pop up with the contact, or it can even just pop open a web page for you and put in the contact there. It also can be pretty customizable. Like we have one company that's using it to send a URL. Like they made their own custom CRM, and it used the screen pop to send a URL with the customer information. So that way, when the page pops up, it automatically pulls in their customer information.
Dan, is there anything we need to load on the desktops in order to make that happen?
Yes, this does use a software called TeleCloud Click.
Would you mind just showing them what that looks like, just so that they can see that there's a piece of this that needs to get added, and this is universal regardless of the CRM. So this is
Sure.
in a way the connector here between the two softwares.
Yep, just bear with me for a second.
Okay.
Don't mind my messy background. What you want to pay attention on is this down here. So this is the connector right here. So it has a little status indicator too. Green means that my phone is idle. If it starts flashing orange, that means I'm getting a call somewhere. If it's red, that means I have a call. If I click that, you'll see it pops up this little window here, which then I have access to. Like I can make calls, I can check my address book. If I have any CRMs, I can search for numbers. So I do that. Nope. Okay. Oh, didn't want to. It made the call instead. No, I don't have. So I don't have that number in Salesforce. Let me try this one.
That's all right.
I cleaned up my sales. It was a demo account, so unfortunately it got cleaned up. But yeah, but then if I open it up here, you can see I have a couple of different ways to customize it. So this includes the screen pops and includes click to dial. So depending, like
Yeah, you know what actually could be a good? I'm going to launch a poll. I know, just to be respectful of everyone's time, it's 12:30. We have a second poll that specifically addresses what collaboration tool you're using. So why don't I go ahead and launch that? Where is it? Oh, this one. I'm going to launch it right now. If you don't mind answering that to those of you who are still on, this would be helpful. So we have roughly 50 clients on, and this is good. So this is helpful. So about 70% are using Zoom for video collaboration, 8% using Google, 5% using Slack, 66% using Teams. That's about half of those on, about 27 out of 42. And a handful of clients are using TeleCloud for some collaboration tools. This is really helpful information. So I would say after this, if any client is interested specifically in the Teams integration, we can help you. We'll schedule some one-to-one time with certain clients, depending on what's involved. So thank you. This was helpful. I'm sharing that out. And then as far as what we have left, we're trying to make this easy because you're our existing clients. So any customer who wants to add any of this, particularly the call recording, the texting, the voicemail to text enhancement, a shared voicemail, or any additional users, where anything you want to do, it's 30 days. There's no charge. So a 30-day trial to test this stuff out. And we're going to waive any non-recurring charges for customers, like the labor for us to do this. So just email in the code TC webinar, and we're not going to charge you any non-recurring charges. So we want to make this super simple. I'll email this out to each user. We need a day, to get the recording sent out. But ballpark pricing, $4 per user to add call recording, $3 per user to activate text, $2 per user for the enhanced voicemail. And if anyone wants to add the voicemail escalation, it's just $25.50 per month per mailbox. So the most involved is a CRM integration. So if anyone has specific needs with that, the pricing varies depending on the number of licenses and which software you're using. So a conversation will be needed. So this just gives you guys a ballpark of pricing. But most importantly, we're here for you. So any specific questions, we have Rachel on, who's our account manager. You can email Rachel directly, rachel@telecloud.net. You can always add me, vin@telecloud.net, for those of you who know me or want to include me. And we're here to help you. So with that being said, I want to be respectful of everyone's time. It's about 12:35. We have a few more questions. So why don't we address them? Will you get a presentation as a hard copy? We're happy to send a copy of the digital recording. So this video is recorded, and about Monday, we're going to get this emailed out to our customer base and those who also joined. And then the only other question from one of the clients, how do we get the Teams integration working, and is there an extra cost? So yes, there is a fee for the Teams licensing on our side and for Teams. So Dame, or Dan, can you address for those clients with Teams, the cost with Teams directly, or speak to it as intelligently as you can?
Sure. You need to have a Microsoft Office 365. You need to have the E5 license or higher, or you need to get the one that specifically allows to activate telecom features. Whoever you get your Office 365 licenses generally can help, but if not, we get on calls to help set up. It's customer by customer to have that enabled. Our connector fee is separate from the Teams licensing from Microsoft.
Thanks, Dave. And then I believe we have majority of the questions answered. Let me just do once over before we officially say goodbye. I think that's it. We had about 12 questions we tried to get to. And from my perspective, I think we're at the tail end. So I think this is thank you and goodbye to our wonderful existing customers, and just reach out to me and Rachel if you want any more specific questions or need support in any way. All right.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks again. Talk to you soon.